All right, what's up, gun tubers? On this one, I was going to do a little review on the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus. If you've looked for a 380 pistol that you can shoot suppressed, then you probably already know there's not a lot of choices out there. This is the only thing I could really find out there in 380 that had a threaded barrel, and that's what I was looking for. Because I've got quite a bit of 380 ammo and wanted to shoot some of it up and wanted to try it suppressed since 380 is subsonic. I figured it would be a cool little pistol to have, and it does shoot real good suppressed. Um, it got dirty pretty quick. I think I did have a couple malfunctions. I can't even remember what it was. It was, or maybe it was just one. I can't remember. It was one or two failed extract or something. It was, but it was after it got really dirty. I mean, we shot the mess out of this thing, and it was nasty dirty. And I brought it home and cleaned it up, and we shot it the second time. Didn't have any problems the second time. But I can tell you that it's definitely not going to win any accuracy awards. You're not going to be, winning any matches with it. That's for sure. It's not the most accurate pistol in the world. It was shooting a pretty big. I mean, I didn't really test it to see actually how accurate it was. We were shooting steel, and it was kind of, I mean, it's a small pistol with little iron sights, and you're shooting. When you put a suppressor on it, you're basically sighting through the suppressor because you can't see the target. You have to, when you shoot a suppressor with something with low iron sights, you have to keep both eyes open and superimpose the sights from your right eye onto the target that your left eye is seeing. It's doable. It's just a little trick you gotta learn when you're shooting with low sights. When you put the suppressor on there, the suppressor is bigger diameter, so it covers your sight picture up. So it's just something you have to do. So I mean, that could be partly to do with it, but it just didn't seem to me like it was laser beam accurate or anything. It's not. It's not that accurate. It was accurate enough to where you're going to be hitting a human-sized torso at 20 yards. I feel confident that wouldn't be a problem. But when you're trying to shoot like a 6 or 8 inch plate at 20 yards, yeah, it was a little iffy. It was we were hitting around it quite a bit, but it shot real good. It did shoot very, very good. The only thing that I can really complain about, and it is a problem with the gun, I could send it back and get them to probably fix it, but I doubt that it would stay fixed for long. And I'll have to get some B-roll and show you what the issue is. But we noticed it after we had shot it on the second trip. It stopped locking back on the last round. And I thought maybe it was just dirty, but that's not what the problem is. The problem is that the metal on the slide is a little soft. Must be a little soft. Because the slide lock recess, I can feel it with my thumb. It's a little pinged. And when you have a magazine in it, empty magazine, it will lock back on the last round. You just bump it and it'll drop. So the notch on the slide for the slide stop to catch has peened a little bit, or it has worn a little bit, enough to where on your last shot, when you're shooting it, it will not lock back on the last round. Like I said, it will lock back on an empty magazine when you're just sitting here like this, but not when you're shooting it. When you drop the magazine, as soon as you drop the magazine, it will close. Now, it didn't do that when I first got it. So I dropped the magazine, pushed the magazine button, and the slide closes. So the only thing holding that slide open is the magazine pushing up on that slide stop. So the slide definitely must be a little softer metal, and that notch has worn at more of an angle. So now the slide will not stay back. You can push it back by hand, push it up with your thumb. As soon as I let go of my thumb off the slide stop, it drops immediately. It will not stay locked back. No matter what you do, I can push it up hard, let go of it. As soon as I let go, it drops. So this part of the slide right here, the notch that holds the slide stop lever goes up into, has worn off at too much of an angle, and now it will not hold the slide back. So I could take the slide off, take my file, and I could file that flat again. I'm sure that would solve the problem. I'm probably not even going to do that, because if I do that and it starts working, I'm not sure how long it would work that way before it wore off more and ended up doing the same thing again. So I'm not even going to really bother. I'm not going to carry this gun as a carry gun for self-protection. I mean, this is just a fun gun is all this is to me. Just something fun to take to the range, just to plink around, shooting 380s real quiet with a suppressor since they're subsonic. It's just a little fun gun to me. I mean, it's been pretty reliable, except for, like I said, a couple times I did get a couple, I think, I think it was a stovepipe, and one failed to extract or something. I can't even remember what it was. It was nothing major. It was on the first range trip. But since then, it's been reliable since that first trip. The second trip, we didn't have any trouble, like I said. And again, I didn't clean it before we took it to the range. I just took it right out of the box. We went to the range and started shooting the crap out of it. And it got pretty dirty. It was filthy, filthy dirty. I mean, when you racked the slide, you could feel it. It was, really gritty. It had a lot of junk in it from shooting it suppressed. And then I brought it home and cleaned it up real good, and then we took it back the second time, and didn't have any trouble with it. And I haven't cleaned it since then, and it doesn't seem to be as nasty as it was the first time. But it did shoot real good suppressed. But like I said, you're not going to win any accuracy competitions with it or anything. Reliability, I would give it an 80%, 85% on my scale of would I trust my life with it? Not really, unless I didn't have any other choice. I wouldn't carry this gun. There's much better options out there. But just if you're looking for a fun gun, a fun range plinking toy to shoot 380 suppressed, then this is pretty much all you got. There's no other choices that I could find that was really, that I could, this was it. This was all I could find, was the Bersa Thunder. So, would I recommend it? Yeah, like I said, I would recommend it if you're just looking for a fun gun, a fun little plinker to take to the range, to shoot your 380 ammo suppressed, and just, have a good time. Absolutely, man. It was fun to shoot. But just be aware, I did a little research on the slide problem, the slide stop issue, and it seems to be a known problem that they're having issues with, to where, the slide metal must be a little softer, and it wears where the slide stops out, and it'll end up after 300 or 400 rounds, it'll end up being to where you can't keep it locked back anymore. It'll just drop, and it won't lock back on the last round when you shoot it. So just be aware of that. So it's not the most accurate. You're going to have probably no slide lock on the last round eventually, but other than that, it's a fun little gun. So I don't know what else to say. It comes in just a little El Cheapo plastic case with one magazine. Like I said, I wasn't too happy about that it only came with one mag, but that's what you get. It's not a real expensive gun. I can't remember what I paid for this. I think it was in the $400 range maybe, but it wasn't terribly expensive. And would I buy it again? Yeah. Just to have a 380 suppressor rated pistol, since like I said, you can't find them. They're not out there other than this one right here. This is about all you got. So I would recommend it for that. I wouldn't recommend it for a carry gun or accurate target shooting gun or anything like that. But it is definitely, I would recommend it for just a fun little range blinker, suppressed with 380 subsonic. And that's about it. See you in the next one.